Hello and welcome back to another podcast and video from Fantasy Football Scout on Euro 2024. My name is Ed. You can follow me on X @_FantasyEd. You can see I've actually got a green arrow for once. It's still rather pathetic. I'm now ranked 312,000 rather than 500,000 or whatever I was. Anyway, what are we going to be doing today? We are going to be looking, doing a little review of Matchday 5, which was the quarterfinals. A look ahead to Matchday 6, the semi-finals. There's less and less ways we can differentiate ourselves, isn't there, from each other to win our mini-leagues and things like that. But I'm going to try my best. So we're going to do that. And also, there's some great news about the Fantasy Football Scout offer of our premium membership as well. That's been extended until England go out of the tournament. So we're still in it. So it is still there. So I'll talk about that in a second. As well, if you're watching on YouTube, you will notice that my moustache, that was absolutely disgusting. I said I wasn't going to shave it off until England put in a good performance. Well, look, I know England didn't put in a great performance, but I really had to get rid of this moustache. People were starting to look funny at me in the street. So it's gone. There you go. Anyway, let's get going on a review of Matchday 5 and a preview of Matchday 6. Yes, so as mentioned, the Fantasy Football Scout Premium offer, an incredible 40% offer, is extended until England go out of the tournament. So there you go. There's a reason to be happy there. 40% off. You get all sorts of data for the rest of the Euros, and you get incredible data for your FPL season, all for 39 quid for a whole year. So that includes full player and team Opta data, expert team reveals and strategy, exclusive data analysis articles, updated team lineups and set piece takers, sortable fixture difficulty ticker, loads of stuff, right? 40% off. Why not have the data to be an expert yourself rather than just listen to them? You can find out more at www.fantasyfootballscout.co.uk and click sign up, and you can see the offers there. Honestly, the best value thing that you could possibly ever want. Fantasy Football Scout Premium membership. Now, let's not talk about that anymore. Please just go and get that. That'd be great. But for now, we're going to quickly look at the matches from the quarterfinals. So I'm sure you already know this, but let's just review it, and then we'll have a look at how my team did. So Spain 2, Germany 1. What a game. A really good football match, as predicted, actually, in my last video. If you watched, I said the Spain-Germany one would be good, and I said the Portugal-France one would be 0-0 and boring. And lo and behold, I was right for once. But Spain 2, Germany 1, with that last-minute winner by Mikel Merino, ex-Newcastle player Mikel Merino. I'm a Newcastle fan, so we only had him for one season. Then he was, I think he was homesick or something, and then we sold him back to Spain. But yeah, Spain 2, Germany 1. Look, I think Spain edged it in the odds, and that obviously showed in the result. Germany going out, Toni Kroos's last ever game, unless he changes his mind again, because he did actually retire for Germany. And I think when he went out to England, when England beat them 2-0 in whenever that was, Euro 2020, was it? That was meant to be Toni Kroos's last ever game for Germany, and he changed his mind. But it does seem like it is his last ever game this time because he's retired for Real Madrid as well. But anyway, Spain 2, Germany 1. I had Nico Williams and Fabian Ruiz, both of whom, didn't do very much, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Portugal 0, France 0. I did predict this. I said this would be 0-0, and I actually backed it as well, as we'll see in my team in a second. So we'll have a look on that. France going through on penalties. So France have managed to get through to the semi-finals now of an international competition without scoring a goal from open play. Is that right? Hang on, it was right a couple of games ago. I can't actually remember. Hang on, what did they do in the round of 16? Gosh, honestly, there's too much football. I'm losing track of what's going on. What did they do in the round of 16? Oh, they beat Belgium, and Koundé scored, didn't he? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yes. Oh no, it was an own goal. It counted as an own goal. That's right, Vertonghen. Yeah, so that's right. So I was right. So France have got through to the semi-finals without scoring a goal from open play. They've had an own goal, they've had a penalty, but not that, which is absolutely incredible. Again, I didn't go with Mbappe, and I said on the video, he had said and time again that he couldn't play with this mask. He found it really, really tricky, and he actually ended up coming off before 120 minutes was played, didn't he, on 110 minutes or something, because his nose was hurting or whatever it was. So, look, Mbappe doesn't look right. Ronaldo, again, did nothing. I had 4 Portugal, which is a part of a bit of a problem that we've got now that they're out, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So, Portugal 0, France 0. So far, that first semi-final is going to be Spain versus France, and then, obviously, England. I mean, it was better, I think. It was better, but it still wasn't great, I'd suggest. Obviously, Switzerland went 1-0 up in whatever that was, the 76th minute or something. And in fact, let's have a look. Does it say what minute they went ahead? No, it doesn't. It says Mbolo obviously scored. But yeah, so look, they went ahead. It looked like it was going to be, England kind of bowing out with this new system. And, if they had gone out at that stage, I think a lot of what Gareth Southgate had achieved, some people would say, would kind of be null and void because he just didn't get to another semi-final, or he didn't win anything, or he ruined this tournament or whatever. But once again, Gareth Southgate comes up trumps somehow, and we actually get through with Saka scoring that brilliant goal with his left foot, cutting inside, posting it in, brilliant. And then on penalties, Jordan Pickford making a save, and us going through 5-3 on penalties. So we are going to go through to the semi-final, where we will play the Netherlands. Netherlands beat Turkey 2-1. Again, I did think, actually, going into that game, I did kind of have a little thought that Turkey might win. I think a lot of people have underestimated them. They obviously beat Austria. Everyone thought Austria were going to go through. Turkey went through. And then once again, everyone thought Netherlands were going to go through here. And I thought Turkey might make it, but they didn't. Netherlands won 2-1. And the goal scorers being, it was Stefan de Vrij, wasn't it? And then an own goal. And then Akaydin for Turkey. So Turkey are now out. Look, it wasn't too disastrous for people without a wild card left, because they would have backed England, they would have backed Holland, they probably would have backed Spain and Germany in equal measure. And then my problem is just I backed Portugal rather than France, although I did have one France player. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. In fact, let's bring up my team. So let me bring up my quarterfinal side. Let me just change screens here because obviously that doesn't show it properly. There you go. So let's have a look at what I managed to do. So on the pitch, I ended up with Costa in goal for 7 points, clean sheet. Kyle Walker, 4 points. Cancelo, 6 points, clean sheet. John Stones, 3 points. Theo Hernandez, 8 points, clean sheet. Akanji, 4 points. Midfield, Wirtz, 6 points. He scored, came off the bench and scored. I knew he was on the bench as well, but I left him in my team because I didn't have any more transfers to make, and that obviously worked really well because he came on and scored. Nico Williams and Fabian Ruiz, 3 points each. Depay up front got an assist, so 6 points. And then Kane, 2 points, my captain. So the one player who got 1 point in my whole team was my captain, of course. I continue this record of just never getting a captaincy. In fact, actually, I continue a record of getting a captaincy, then moving it incorrectly. I had my captain on Cancelo for that first game. He got 6 points. He banked the clean sheet coming off early, but he got 6 points, doubled to 12. Should have stuck on that, but I thought, no, come on. I need to make ground. Harry Kane surely is going to score against Switzerland. We're going to beat them 3-0. And I moved it to Kane, and he did absolutely nothing, apart from getting a yellow card. So there you go. And then on the bench, Pickford, Bruno Fernandes, Musiala, and Ronaldo. Now, so, look, I did all right. Even though I didn't get a captaincy, I don't think many people really got a captaincy, but I got 52 points. I got a green arrow. I made up about 10 points in my mini league, so now I'm about 15, maybe 20 points off the people where I want to be. So there's still a chance. There's 2 match days left. I've got to do something different. There's still a chance to do this. Now, you might be looking at that team and thinking, well, hang on a second. What does that look like for next week, for the semi-finals? Let me load that. So for the semi-finals, obviously you can immediately see the problem. Ronaldo is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. Bruno Fernandes is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. João Cancelo is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. Akanji is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. Wirtz is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. Musiala is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. Costa is out of the tournament, so I need to replace him. So that is 4, 5, 6, 7 players I need to replace, and I've only got how many have I got? Is it? Let's have a look. I think it's 4, isn't it? Make transfers, 4 free. Yeah, so I get 4 free transfers. Now, the important thing at this stage, as this is a point I made actually last week as well, you've got to remember it's not too bad to, if you can get that at 11, you've done well. So I can change Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and Cancelo and have 11 out, and then have one more sub to make to choose who I want to be my sub to be able to come on, right? So ideally someone from the second day, right? So I will have a sub, 11 and a sub, without taking a hit. Now, that's fine, kind of. No, it is fine, because if you think about it, obviously it's not ideal. Obviously, you'd have a full bench. But think about it. I made this point last week. When you get to the final, you don't need a bench. You only want 11. You know, the people you put on your bench will not impact the game at all. You can't bring them on. They're not going to get to come on because you're going to know who's starting in the final. It's irrelevant, the bench. So if you're looking at your team thinking, oh, I haven't got a bench, I've only got 11 for the semi-final, or even I've got 10 for the semi-final, you're still not out of it, right? You're still not out of it because you'll get 5 free transfers between the semi-final and the final to kind of repair what happens in the semi-finals. So look, I'm fine with having 11 on the pitch and one player on the bench to come on. So what will I do? I mean, I don't know yet, and I'll be looking at this tonight, but I think I'll do something like I've only got one Dutch player against England, so I've got a choice here, haven't I? I can either just go, look, I'm just going to back England. I've got to go for something. I'm going to back England. I'm not going to choose any Dutch players and hope England get through. Okay, so then I could pick, I could bring in, how many players can we have from each team now? Is it 5, I think? Maybe even 6, is it? 5? 5. So let's say it's 5. That means I could bring in one more England player. Let's say I bring in Bellingham for Bruno Fernandes. Let's do that here. I mean, I know you can't quite. No, let's not because it's going to look rubbish. I'm not going to do that. But I'll do that in another video. But yeah, look, I could bring Bellingham maybe in for Bruno Fernandes. I've only got one French player, so I need to bring probably another French defender in. Maybe for Cancelo, I'd bring in Koundé or something like that. Up front, who's going to fill that striker spot? I'll keep Depay because obviously I've got him, so why not? I'll keep him. If he scores against England, fine. It ruins my defenders, but whatever. I haven't got... Do I go Mbappe is a question. I mean, lots of people have Mbappe, even though he's been rubbish. And let's be honest, he has been rubbish. He hasn't been in the game. He's shooting and missing and just shooting against the keeper and even not getting that many shots. Like it just hasn't been good, right? Maybe I bring in a Kante or someone in midfield. I've just got to make sure, because obviously there's only 4 teams left. There is France, and I've only got one French player, so I definitely need to address that. There's Netherlands, sorry. Here we go again. Netherlands, sorry. I've only got one of them, so do I need to address that, or do I just back England? They're the questions that I'm going to be looking at as we head forward. In fact, let's take a little break, and I'm going to go away and work out what I'm going to do, and I'll come back and I'll show you. So let's take a quick break. Okay, so I've changed the screen round so that I can do the transfers live as we talk. So just a reminder for those listening on audio podcast, my squad currently, Pickford and Costa in goal, Hernandez, Walker, Stones, Cancelo and Akanji at the back, Wirtz, Musiala, Fernandes, Williams and Ruiz in midfield, Kane, Ronaldo and Depay up front. So the players that have been eliminated, as I said earlier, Ronaldo, Fernandes, Musiala, Wirtz, Akanji, Cancelo and Costa. I'm only going to make 4 changes with my 4 free transfers. I don't need to take a hit. I'm just happy, as I said, to get 11 plus 1. So, who are the 11 plus 1 going to end up being? Let's have a look. So, at the moment, the most obvious moves I think I've got is, first of all, look, Ronaldo out and Mbappe in. I just think, of the teams, their main strikers, there's only 4 teams left. I've got Depay, who ideally would be Gakpo after his form, but I've got Depay, I'm not going to change that. I've got Kane, so the only other thing that I could choose to do is take out Ronaldo and put in either Morata or Mbappe, unless I'm going to do something rogue. So the obvious choice is Mbappe in, right? So Mbappe comes in. The next obvious kind of move is obviously Bruno Fernandes out, and I think Bellingham in. Bellingham's got 2 goals at the moment for England. I know he hasn't been absolutely sensational every minute of the game, but he can always come up with something, can't he? So Bellingham in for Bruno Fernandes is an obvious move, I think. But that still means I've only got 3 midfielders, so I want 4. So I'm going to get rid of Musiala here and maybe bring in Saka. Now, obviously, Saka is one of these players in this game who has actually been really good for England every game, I think. I don't think he's had a poor game yet. Whereas people like Foden has been absolutely rubbish. I couldn't believe it at half-time in the England-Switzerland game where the BBC commentators were going, oh, it's great to see Foden, isn't it, in a position where he can really make a difference. He gave the ball away about 8 times in the first half. In total, guess how many times he gave the ball away in that game against Switzerland? 16. That's fact. I'm not making that up. He gave the ball away 16 times. He has been absolutely woeful this tournament. England's worst player by a mile for me has been Phil Foden. I don't understand what's happened. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I could bring Saka in there. So that gives me 3 strikers, 4 defenders, and then I could get rid of, say, a Cancelo at the back here and bring in who would I bring in? Let's think. I think a French defender. So let's go France, let's go defenders, let's scroll down a bit so you can see, and yeah, maybe Koundé. So I've got the left side and the right side covered, left back and right back. So that would mean, if I did that, I think those are the moves that for me feel naturally, they're the first ones that come to mind, okay? Now, that doesn't always mean they're the best ones, does it? But they're the ones that naturally come to my mind. That would mean what I could do would be, it means I've only got 1 keeper, so I'm relying on Pickford to do something. But, it's a keeper. I'm not going to make a transfer for another keeper, I don't think. It means I've got I'm backing basically a French clean sheet against Spain and an English clean sheet against Holland, Netherlands. Maybe, I tell you what, maybe I shouldn't have a French defender there because I've already got one. Maybe I should have a Spanish one because Spain, first of all, score goals. But second of all, France don't score goals. They haven't scored a goal from open play yet. So maybe the obvious thing isn't that, actually. Maybe it is. Let's have a look. I know Spain have got a couple of suspensions, haven't they? Like Carvajal can't play. Nacho, he's an orange flag there. Cucurella should play, shouldn't he? I don't think there's a doubt about him at the moment. I will check that, but I'm pretty sure he's fine. So maybe I do that. Maybe I do that because that gives me 3 Spanish, 2 French, 1 Netherlands, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 English. So maybe I just need to back England against the Netherlands. I've got to do something, right? Maybe this is too obvious because, I mean, let's think about it. If I did this, my tournament would be over if France went through and Holland went through. Because at that point, I'd have 1, 2, 3 people gone through and I'd only have 5 free transfers to make. So I'll only be able to get to 8 for the final. I'd still do it, but there's not much chance of me doing that well. So I think I've just got to go for it, right? It looks like you can get 6 from each team now because I've got 6 England on there. No one's complaining. So maybe instead of Mbappe, I do go Morata or something. And I just back Spain. I mean, I've got to do something, haven't I? There's no point hedging your bets at this stage. Maybe I do that. I mean, Morata has looked pretty poor and he doesn't seem to... I mean, he scored 1 goal this tournament. I mean, he scored a goal from open play and Mbappe hasn't, so maybe that's what I do. Now, that would be a bit different from the people in my mini-league, at least, that I'm trying to beat, because I'll have 6 England. They won't. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 Spain, whereas I know one of the guys I'm trying to beat has got like 4 France already, or 5 France. Maybe that's what I do. I mean, Spain are looking good, aren't they? They're direct, they're quick, they're everything France aren't. But maybe coming up against France, because let's be honest, France don't concede many goals either. Maybe coming up against France is going to be where kind of a rock meets a hard place, and it's going to be another 0-0 or something. But maybe Spain blow them away as well, because France have been poor. But maybe the Netherlands. No, I did it again. I nearly mixed Holland and the Netherlands to make Heatherlands, which, as I said, is my neighbour down the street, Heatherlands. Lovely old lady. Oh, gosh. I mean, that would leave me, if you're listening on Audio Podcast, with Kane, Morata and Depay up front. Ruiz, Williams, Bellingham and Saka. Hernandez, Walker, Stones and Cucurella. And Pickford in goal. So I'd have 1 sub to bring on, who it would just be anyone who plays on the second day. In fact, who does play on the second day? We do, don't we? So one of the English players I'll put on the bench. Or probably Depay, actually. I'll probably put Depay on the bench, just in case all of my other players score massive and I can't make a sub, and I can leave Depay on there and just really back England. I mean, Depay, that was my worst transfer in. I've hated. I know he got an assist from me last game. I've hated owning him. He looks so rubbish, I think. But anyway, I've had these arguments with people. I'm not going to continue. I just think he looks absolutely woeful. Why didn't I get Gakpo? Oh, really annoying. Anyway, so maybe I'm going to do that. Look, that would be a bit different. That would be me really actually going for it as much as I can, really. Maybe even I change Bellingham to a Foden, who I think has been rubbish, but everyone will be jumping off Foden, and maybe I jump onto him. I don't know. Anyway, look, these are my thoughts. This is what I'm thinking at the moment. This is probably what I'm going to do. Obviously, the games are Tuesday is going to be Spain versus France, and Wednesday is England versus Netherlands. I'll be back tomorrow. The deadline is tomorrow, Tuesday at, is it 8 o'clock, I guess? In fact, let's just have a look at the matches just before we go. Let's bring up matches. Let's go, bring it up here. So, you've got, oh, hang on. Ugh, ideal. Hang on, it's not going to, 2 seconds. There we go. So, so you've got 8 o'clock. So the deadline's 8 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday. So plenty of time to get home from work, get your head clear and make your moves. I won't be making any moves yet. I will see that Spain-France lineup first and maybe try and go for someone really, really differential for Spain. Like, let's say Hosselu starts up front. Let's get him. I don't think he will. I think Morata will. But anyway, look. And then Holland, Netherlands versus England at 8. Look, good luck. Let me know what you're doing below. Let me know the best differential you can think of. In terms of captaincy as well, I mean, on the first day, I will probably captain a Spanish midfielder, probably Nico Williams or someone, but loads of people are going to do that. Maybe I'll have to choose something different. And then the England game, I'll captain Saka or something like that. Someone maybe a bit different as well to try and just nail at least one good captaincy before this tournament flipping ends. But there you go. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what I've missed below. Please do post your teams below. I know some people still have wildcards left, so fair play to you if you do. Probably quite useful at this stage, the way things have gone. Please do let me know. Click the like button. Please do subscribe. And if you're listening on audio podcast, please do follow and subscribe there and leave a 5-star review. I'll be back tomorrow with another video before the deadline. But for now, see you in the next video.